Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
40 degrees, sunny skies in Cleveland as we head down to the field and welcome in Sarah Walsh. Sarah.
Thanks, Kenny. Well, what's the difference between a Falcons team that started the season 1-4 and the team that's going for its fourth straight today? Dan Quinn will tell you nothing much. He said this team stayed the course and admits that's hard to do when it's human nature to want to change things. Of course, it helps when you have a quarterback that's playing at an MVP level. Matt Ryan leading the league with more than 335 passing yards per game. So given the way this offense is firing, coupled with the Browns' defensive injuries, this matchup should heavily favor the Falcons. But Ryan tells me they can't come here with that mentality. He says this isn't college. There isn't a game on your schedule where if you just show up, you're going to win. And he doesn't believe the Browns' record is indicative of who this team they're playing today really is. Kenny, Rondé?
Thanks very much, Sarah. Falcons have won 3 in a row. Greg Williams in his second game as interim head coach after replacing Hugh Jackson. Falcons won the toss, elected to defer, so Matt Bosher will get things started. Jabril Peppers and Dontrell Hilliard back deep for the Browns. This is Hilliard from the 3. Hilliard out across the 20 to the 23-yard line. So Baker Mayfield leads the Cleveland Browns offense onto the field. The rookie out of Oklahoma making his 7th start.
When we talked to offensive coordinator Freddie Kitchens this week, he told us, look, Baker Mayfield has zero fear of failure. You know, there's some things going on in Cleveland that nobody is really proud about, but they know they have the quarterback of the future in Baker Mayfield. I'm excited to watch him. We've had him a number of times this year, Kenny. We know what he can do. Let's see if he can take advantage of this Falcons defense today.
1st and 10, 23-yard line, off the play fake. Catch is made for a first down out to the 35-yard line by Jarvis Landry for a gain of 12. Landry makes his 56th reception, which leads the Browns. Greg Robinson starts at left tackle for the 2nd straight game.
Yeah, Desmond Harrison is inactive, so keep an eye on Greg Robinson. Effusive praise from almost everybody in the building with the way that he played last week, really protecting that blind side of Baker Mayfield. And they have some talent in the wide receiving crew as well. I expect them to get a lot of action today.
Nick Chubb in the backfield, rookie out of Georgia. This is Chubb. And Chubb is out to the 40-yard line, his first carry. Gain of 3 as we check out the 28th ranked Atlanta Falcons injury-ravaged defense.
Yeah, but there's one guy who's been consistent, especially since he's been back from injury. It's Grady Jarrett. I mean, my eyes are drawn to him when I put the film on. He's quick, he's explosive, and really, when you talk to the Atlanta Falcons, they say, who's the guy that's leading this defense, this beat-up defense? And everybody mentioned J.D. Garrett inside. Keep an eye on number 97 all day.
2nd down and 5. Mayfield from the shotgun, handing off. It's Chubb out to the 44-yard line. 3rd and 1 coming up. Jack Crawford, the tackle. There's Freddie Kitchens, had been the running backs coach, took over as offensive coordinator for Todd Haley, who was let go along with Hugh Jackson prior to the Browns' last game. 3rd down and 1. A direct snap to Chubb as Mayfield looked towards the sideline, and Chubb is stopped short.
Little acting by Baker Mayfield. I don't think anybody was falling for that. Watch him pull out from center as if he didn't get the communication. This Falcons defense has been maligned for their tackling a little bit this season, but especially Duke Riley, number 42 right there, but they were all on that. Their eyes were where they were supposed to be.
Motion on the quarterback. He was under center, went in motion, never got set. It's a 5-yard penalty. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Pete Morelli, our referee. Dan Quinn declining the penalty as the Browns will punt it away. Justin Hardy is back deep for Atlanta. Britton Colquitt waiting back at his 30-yard line. for by Hardy at the 19-yard line. Our first look at Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons offense in a moment.
Today's game is sponsored by Gillette, the best a man can get.
Welcome back to the Dog Pound, Cleveland, Ohio. Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons, their first possession from the 19-yard line. Tevin Coleman lined up to the left of Ryan. 3 wide receivers set. The handoff to Coleman on first down, gains a couple out to the 21-yard line. Terrific numbers, Rondé, for Matt Ryan so far this season.
They are. This is MVP like Matt Ryan, and you talk to him, you talk to Steve Sarkisian, the offensive coordinator, and they both say it just feels right. What's the difference? Nothing much. It's the same offense. It's just these two have a much better understanding of each other, understanding of the personnel they're working with. They are flying high right now.
On 2nd and 8, play action. Rolling to his left, Ryan. Now he throws. And it is caught out of the 30-yard line for a first down by the tight end, Austin Hooper.
You look at this offense, Kenny, and obviously they have some talent at wide receiver, don't they? Julio Jones, a lot of attention goes to him. But to me, there's no bigger beneficiary than that this year than Calvin Ridley. He's the one that gets the one-on-one matchups almost all the time because secondaries want to lean towards Julio Jones. It's why he has the production he has in his first year here in Atlanta.
New set of downs for the Falcons. On the toss, it's Coleman. Found a big hole. First down and more. Knocked out of bounds at the 47-yard line by Demarius Randall. Gain of 16 for Coleman.
Just a little flip option, right? He's just going to come out here. And Matt Ryan with the easy pitch, but look at the block on the outside. This is one thing these receivers don't get a lot of credit for. Julio Jones, I mean, with this size, obviously he's a matchup down the field problem. But if you're going to have a good running game, and they've only had 2 really good running games this year, you need those guys to get involved.
Coleman came up limping, replaced by Ito Smith. Empty backfield from the 47 on first down. Ryan's pass is caught. Second reception for Hooper on this drive in Cleveland territory.
Take a look at these Browns on defense, and I do like how talented they are up front. Myles Garrett and Larry Ogunjobi are 2 of my favorite young players in football. But having Joe Schobert back is huge for this defense. When they started to have a fall off around 3 or 4 weeks ago, it corresponded with his injury. Now that he's back, see if they can stem the tide a little bit.
2nd down and 5 from the Browns 48. Ryan to the outside. He was looking for the rookie out of Alabama, Calvin Ridley. Third and 5 coming up. Great start to his rookie season for Ridley. 7 touchdowns, 6 over his first 4 games.
It's unbelievable how talented he is, and I look at him at the line of scrimmage and I see a guy that can win against press coverage, he can win against off coverage because he's quick in and out of his breaks, and he's got that added dimension of being able to run with it after the catch that this offense has really taken advantage of this year.
3rd down and 5 for Ryan and the Falcons. Ryan under pressure, throws it out of bounds.
You're going to see the pressure come from Myles Garrett on the other side of this formation here. It's a 5-man blitz is what they like to do a lot of. Jannard Avery also in the mix there, and that's the one thing you got to do to get these guys off schedule. Got to make it uncomfortable for Matt Ryan. He did a good job there getting off the field on that 3rd down.
Matt Bosher punting. Jabril Peppers is back deep. Fair catch by Peppers at the 12-yard line. Baker Mayfield and the Browns back on offense.
This game is sponsored by T-Mobile. Whether you're home or away, T-Mobile has you covered.
We are back in Cleveland, Ohio. Kenny Albert, Rondé Barber, Sarah Walsh. 2nd possession for the Cleveland Browns.
You know, Kenny, you noticed last time that Cleveland had the football, they're really slow playing this game right now, taking as much clock as they can. See if they continue that on this drive.
Even prior to their punt, they let the clock run down. Catch catch is made by Breshad Perriman, the former Raven, for a Browns first down, gain of 16.
That's what you love about Baker Mayfield. That throw right there, the confidence of a young quarterback, just to put it on a line on a 15-yard out-breaking route. Breshad Perriman, wait for him to emerge. One of these young receivers opposite Jarvis Landry has to step up and allow this passing game to get going. And there's Bruce Irvin. First action as a Falcon, number 52. I was joking with Dan Quinn yesterday and said he's not 51. I was like, oh yeah, that's Alex Mack.
Right. His number in Seattle when he was with Quinn previously. Out to the 30-yard line. It is Chubb. Bruce Irvin, released by the Raiders. Grew up in the Atlanta area. Reunited with his former coordinator in Seattle, Dan Quinn.
And he'll have a little bit different role. And when he was in Seattle with Dan Quinn, he was an outside linebacker, that Sam linebacker on the line of scrimmage a lot. But when he went to Oakland, he was pretty much primarily a defensive end. And I think that's the role that he's going to assume here with Atlanta, help provide some push on this pass rush that's ranked 27th in the league.
Play action, second down and 8. As the catch is made for a first down by the tight end, David Njoku. Njoku out to the 48-yard line. Browns move the chains.
I was sitting around watching practice and watching warm-ups, and this is a connection that you hope gets going for Cleveland. I mean, look at the strong arm throw. The coverage is great. Ishmael is in perfect position. He said, this doesn't matter. My arm's strong. I'm trusting this tight end now. That Njoku, the past couple of games, I've noticed him making more secure catches, taking those contested balls and bringing them in. Great example of it there.
Gain of 18 is the Browns' second leading receiver behind Jarvis Landry.
180. What's up?
First and 10, 48-yard line. As Mayfield swings it out. This is Chubb, has a first down. Tripped up by Jordan Richards after gaining 13 to the 39-yard line of the Falcons.
Just admire the patience of a young quarterback here, Kenny. Just in the pocket, he's looking. There's a two-man route down the field. It's not there. So eyes immediately go to his check down. Get the ball to your playmakers. Let them do the work. Quarterback doesn't always have to do the hard work. When you have runners like Nick Chubb and Duke Johnson, when he gets in the ball game to be that outlet, give it to him. Let them be the guy to create some extra yardage after the play. Well done there. Nice execution.
Mayfield calls timeout with the play clock down to 3. We'll be back right after this message from Bose. Back in Cleveland following the timeout. Just under 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter. First and 10 coming up for the Browns from the Falcons 39. Cleveland, the only team in the NFL, Rondé, without a first quarter touchdown this season.
Hey, gap, 5-4.
That's amazing. It's hard to believe.
For their first 9 games. Here's Chubb. Bruce Irvin in on the tackle. Time for a game break to Los Angeles. Mike Hill.
Hey, guess what, guys? The Chiefs are in the end zone early. No surprise there. They lead the league in scoring offense. Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill for 37 yards in the score. And 56 seconds into the game, the Chiefs lead the Cards 7-zip in the first. Kenny, Rondé, Sarah.
All right, thanks, Mike.
I got to tell you what, getting ready for this Browns game, it was the first time I got to watch that Kansas City offense. Oh, my goodness. That kid is something else.
Hey, me.
He's making everybody else's MVP conversations mute at this point.
Incredible start. Chiefs over the Browns 37-21 last week. Duke Johnson, who had 9 receptions in that game against the Chiefs. Robert Alford, the tackle.
Yeah, he just sniffs this out almost immediately here. And he missed last week right here. He missed last week, but this is Greg Williams-like corners playing, looking inside. This is how his corners play. They get involved in the run game. That was well executed because he gets that block. And he gets up into the secondary, some extra yardage. And Duke Johnson, Freddie Kitchens told us, look, the guy has got something special when he has the ball in his hands. Find a way to get the ball to him.
Alert push.
Which they did frequently in the game last week. Third down and 9. Mayfield to the outside for a first down. It's Landry. At the Falcons' 28-yard line, gain of 10.
Well, it's the motion that sets up this stack on the other side of the ball. This is on the line of scrimmage here. It's the motion that sets up the stack, and it gets the Falcons corner off, Trufant off of him. He just makes a nice delivery. There's no way as a corner that you can play that football because of the stack motion coming to that side.
Landry in motion.
180. What's up?
The fake to Chubb. Mayfield under pressure. Fires to the end zone, and the catch is made for a touchdown by Rashard Higgins.
This is a great improvisation by Baker Mayfield. This play was designed to go to the other side of the field to Jarvis Landry, who was in motion and was trying to sneak out the backside. You'll see Jarvis Landry come across into your picture right there. Right there, there's Jarvis Landry. That's who he's looking for in the pocket. But because the pressure is there immediately, he has to make a different decision and just throws it downfield in the one-on-one coverage. And wow, there's your first quarter touchdown, Kenny.
Browns finally reach the end zone of the first quarter of a game this season. Greg Joseph adds the extra point. Mayfield connects with Higgins, who returned last week. He had missed 3 games with a knee injury. His second touchdown of the season. 7-0 Browns.
Today's game is sponsored by USAA, insurance, banking, and investments tailored for the military community. And by Burger King. Get 10 crispy chicken nuggets for just $1 only at Burger King.
8 plays, 88 yards. And how about Baker Mayfield, Rondé? Perfect 6 for 6 on the drive.
And some really nice throws in there. A couple of those out routes were on time and delivered perfectly. And then just doing the out-of-the-box extended play for that touchdown. That was an amazing start here for Baker Mayfield.
Marvin Hall is back deep for the Falcons. Falcons will start at their 25. The NFL is deeply committed to Salute to Service, the league's year-round effort to honor, empower, and connect with our nation's service members, veterans, and their families. Join us in thanking those who bravely serve our country and generate an NFL donation to its military nonprofit partners by visiting NFL.com/salute. Since 2011, the NFL has donated more than $26 million to its military nonprofit partners. Great job all around. From the 25 on the toss, it is Coleman. Kevin Coleman out to the 31 on first down for a gain of 6. Running behind right guard Ben Garland, who is the Falcons Salute to Service Award nominee. He's a captain in the Colorado Air National Guard. Off the play fake, Ryan sets, and now he connects with Coleman out of the backfield, up the sideline for an Atlanta first down.
Ben Garland's in there because of the injury to Fusco. They've had some turnover at that offensive guard, both offensive guard spots this year, and having a guy with his kind of experience to be able to come in and solidify that side of the ball is huge. This Browns defensive line is formidable. I know they're young, and I know the defense has given up a lot of yards, but there are some very good pass rushers on this defensive front for Cleveland.
Led by Myles Garrett, third in the league with 9 sacks. First and 10, 39-yard line for Atlanta. It's Coleman, looks to bounce it to the outside, and gains 3 out to the 42-yard line, second down and 7. Falcons, of course, without Devontae Freeman on injured reserve, so Kevin Coleman over 400 yards for the season, and a big game last week against Washington. Bryant rolling right, and now he throws back across the field to the tight end Logan Paulson, and he has a first down out at midfield.
This is probably one of the most active play-action teams in football. They use it in the pass game, obviously, but I see it as a way to set up their run game. And Matt Ryan has been around so long, he recognizes looks. This Cleveland Browns defense gives you so many different looks, but he understands what they're trying to do, and I don't think anybody would expect Logan Paulson to be the guy he was looking for there, but he knew behind that play he had a trailer. He found him.
4 completions for Ryan. None to a wide receiver so far. And again, it's a tight end. Hooper, his third catch. So 4 receptions by tight ends and 1 by the back, Tevin Coleman. There's Steve Sarkisian, the second-year offensive coordinator for the Falcons.
And he talks about comfort level, why it's so much better here in year 2. But that was a very similar play to the play we just saw before. He's not scared to run back-to-back type plays and really try to mess with the eyes of the defense and get them off balance. And we're seeing the effects of this play action here in this drive.
Second down and 4, the handoff to Ito Smith. And Smith is stopped about a yard shy of a first down. Larry Ogunjobi made the tackle. Smith, rookie out of Southern Miss. There's Greg Williams, still calling the defense, interim head coach of the Cleveland Browns.
And he's got a challenge in that regard too, doesn't he, Kenny? With being able to call the defense, which is his forte, and I don't think he would ever give it up. But to have that responsibility and try to guide a young group and get them motivated every week, I think it's as tough a job as you could possibly have on an interim basis for a head coach.
Atlanta Falcons best in the league on third down this season. On the toss, it is Smith, and he will not get there.
Well, the Browns are no slouches on defense either, though. They only give up 37% on third down, which is a great percentage for this young. This is just a quick toss. He's just going to try to hit it right here, but watch the penetration up front. And then Schobert right in the gap, 53. Stuffs that play and taking a book out of a page out of Greg Williams' book, keeping his offense on the field. Matt Ryan is not at quarterback.
Ryan split out wide to the right. It's a direct snap to Mohamed Sanu. He hands it off to Ito Smith, who has a first down for the Falcons.
Well, that's a great play call. You put an imposter at quarterback. In this case, it's Mohamed Sanu, and all you're doing is running read option. It's a simple play. It's play action. I asked Matt Ryan about read option, and obviously he's not a read option quarterback because he doesn't have the threat of running the football, but they do this wildcat type look all the time, and it just makes you as a defense have to focus on something that you're not ready for.
That takes us to the end of the first quarter in Cleveland with the Falcons on the move. Browns out to a 7-point lead. First quarter numbers, Browns outgained the Falcons 109-71. Cleveland out to a 7-0 lead. Falcons went forward on 4th down just prior to the end of the first quarter. They were successful. So a new set of downs from the Browns' 37-yard line. Ninth play of the drive for Atlanta. Ball hit the ground on the toss to Ridley, and then he was able to scoop it up and takes it to the 34-yard line of the Browns.
Well, that's getting a fortunate bounce for sure right there. And interesting play call. Put Calvin Ridley in the backfield. He's dotting the I like a running back. Just creative ways to get this kid the ball because of that run after the catch ability that he has. But man, that ball could have gone anywhere. Very fortunate.
Wound up gaining 3 yards. Now Coleman in the backfield. Second down and 7. Off the fake to Coleman. Catch is made for another first down. That is Hooper's 4th reception. Still nothing for the wideouts, Jones, Sanu, and Ridley.
And another guy that benefits from the Julio effect, especially in a defensive situation where you're going to play man-to-man defense or single high. So there's, you know, that the corners or whoever's covering outside have 6 solo covers. Pick up, throw the football to him. Nice catch.
Coleman in motion. Ryan over the middle, and that's broken up by Buddy Calhoun.
And Matt Ryan is trying to work the ball the other side of the field. He comes all the way back to his last read here, and Buddy Calhoun makes a really nice play without interfering with Julio Jones there. And sometimes those are the ones where you get a little anxious and you pull on the back of the receiver, and the official, the back judge, will throw that flag on you, but he had great body control there. Nice play. Second and 10 from the Browns 24.
High snap. Gathered in by Ryan. And he'll be marked down at the 32-yard line. Alex Mack is the center for Atlanta, the long-time Brown, a 5-time Pro Bowler.
And he's really good. You don't usually see that happen. That type of execution or lack of execution with two veteran guys is interesting. I wonder if this was not like if the crowd's making a lot of noise. There's no miscommunication. It was just a poor snap.
Mack went to 3 Pro Bowls as a Brown, 2 more with the Falcons. 3rd down and 18. Bunch formation to the right. As Ryan throws, down at the 22-yard line is Sanu, his first catch. And now Atlanta will send out the field goal unit. First catch by a Falcons wide receiver today. So here's Giorgio Tavecchio, continues to fill in for the injured Matt Bryant. Bryant out with a hamstring injury from the right hash. This will be a 40-yard attempt. Tavecchio is 4 for 4 on the season. From 40 yards out, his kick is good. So the Falcons are on the board early second quarter. 7-3 Browns. 14-play drive for Matt Ryan and the Falcons. Tavecchio connected from 40 yards out. Ryan 5 of 6 on the drive. 7-3 Cleveland lead. Browns scoring a first quarter touchdown for the first time this season. In game number 10. Peppers and Hilliard back deep. From the 3-yard line, it's Peppers. Runs into the arms of Marvin Hall. So the Browns will start from their 24-yard line. Hugh Jackson, of course, the head coach, offensive play caller last season. Greg Williams was the defensive coordinator. Todd Haley brought in as the offensive coordinator this year, but that did not last long. Jackson and Haley fired after 8 games. Williams slides over to the interim head coaching role, and Freddie Kitchens takes over as the offensive coordinator. Browns started the season with 2 wins in their first 5 games, 2-2-1, but they have lost 4 straight. On first down, out to the 33-yard line, it is Duke Johnson.
This is almost wishbone. This is taken back to Freddie Kitchens when he was in college. He's going to hand it off to him. He's going to run the option like it's a triple option. You got a lead blocker out front, and he just absolutely froze Tack McKinley right there with that fake pitch and picks up some nice yardage here. Same look here.
3 backs, and this time it is Chubb after the hesitation. He picks up a first down out to the 35-yard line. Time for a game break. Mike Hill.
Even without Dez Bryant, Saints with so many weapons. Here are 2 of them. Drew Brees on the screen to Mark Ingram. 28 tough yards to the end zone, making it 14-7 Saints over the Bengals. The 508th career TD pass from Brees, signing with Brett Favre for second all-time. Kenny, run it.
All right, thanks, Mike. Again, you have 3 in the backfield. Mayfield looking to throw on first down. After a pump fake, he takes off and he slides down at the 41-yard line. So Mayfield gains 6, setting up second down and 4.
I got to tell you, we talk about Freddie Kitchens. You change coordinators and you don't change the offense. It's impossible in the middle of the season to change the structure of the offense or what you're doing. But this is definitely a Freddie Kitchens influence here. These wrinkles, I've never seen these on film. Put 3 guys in the backfield, under center, in gun. You're seeing it now. It's obviously a package that they worked on this week. And you want to know fingerprints on a team. This is his fingerprints on this Browns offense.
Second down and 4, swings it out, and it's a first down. Hilliard makes the catch, Campbell the tackle.
And as a Falcons defense, this is when it gets really hard because you're sitting in the huddle and you're saying, what is this? I have never seen this look on film, and so it challenges your rules, right? You go into a game, you know what you're supposed to be looking for, but having not ever seen it, you're kind of sitting there playing a little bit soft, and you're seeing Cleveland take advantage of their confusion on that side of the ball.
We see it again with Johnson, Hilliard, and Chubb. First and 10, 47-yard line. How about this, Rondé? And Chubb gains a couple out to the 49 on the toss from Duke Johnson.
Was that a toss or was that like a fumble at the same time? He couldn't make up his mind. He gets hit, and he decides at the last second to flip it. I mean, that's some heads-up play, I guess. I don't know if you're going to coach it that way, but it makes a little bit of something out of what was a big hit. Wow.
Big hit by Duke Riley. They gain 2 on the play, second down and 8. Mayfield fires, first down for Perriman for the Falcons, 33-yard line.
And in this structure, Kenny, you're expecting run, right? You've seen the option a number of times, but obviously you got Perriman split out here one-on-one in a situation. There's going to be a play-action pass off of it, and Robert Alford not able to hang with him at the line of scrimmage, and they've given up some yardage in the secondary, Kenny. I put the film on, and I see some explosive plays, a lot of explosive plays from this given up by this Falcons defense, and there it is.
Mayfield starts the game 9 for 9. And now Mayfield, the intended receiver, it's picked off. On the return, it is Damontae Kazee. That's his league-leading 5th reception of the season on the pass intended for Baker Mayfield. So they go with the 3 backs throughout that series, and the Falcons come up with a takeaway. Well, we've been talking about Freddie Kitchens and some of the new stuff that we've seen from him today, and paid off until that last play. Interception thrown by Hilliard. And now Ryan steps up and throws wide open. First catch today for Julio Jones. And he will take it all the way down to the Browns' 15-yard line.
Well, Matt Ryan got great protection on this play. He had all day to throw this with the fake reverse on the end around, but the pocket is so clean for him. He's looking for 2 vertical releases down the field. Then just the ability to pull up and find the last second guy. I think this is what Matt Ryan's doing really well. He's been a threat to run this year, I think, more than in years past. This gives Julio Jones a nice little underneath area to catch that ball, pick up some big yardage.
Off the fake to Coleman. Oh, nice catch made by Hooper. That's his 5th reception. Gain of 4 down to the 11.
That's a great catch. You're right, Kenny. Rolling out to the opposite side, Matt Ryan is, and this ball is behind him, off target, but the ability to do that, to catch balls outside of the frame of your body, that's a tough skill for anybody, and Hooper has shown this year that he is very good at it.
The 5 of Ryan's 9 completions have gone to Hooper in this first half. Second down and 6 from the Cleveland 11. It's Coleman up the middle. And Coleman picks up a first down inside the 5-yard line. So a 1st and goal upcoming. A couple of plays ago, Rondé, with that 30-yard reception, Julio Jones becomes the fastest in NFL history to reach 10,000 career receiving yards. He does it in his 104th game. Calvin Johnson had been the quickest, 115, so he beat him by 11 games to 10,000.
I think we knew he was getting that.
Yes.
He came into this game.
So they're shifting to the right side. 1st and goal for the Falcons from the 4, looking to capitalize on the Cleveland turnover. It's Coleman, but he is hit in the backfield by Anthony Zettel.
Anthony Zettel getting more and more playing time as this year has gone off, right in front of you, and he just shoots right past this tight end, Paulson. No chance that he's going to block him. He should win that matchup. That's a nice play. This Cleveland defense has stepped up twice in the red zone. See if they can do it again here.
Second and goal from the 6.
Julio gets into number 3, the ball usually goes to him over the middle of the field.
Ryan rolling right, throws back the other way. It's Paulson. Logan Paulson makes the catch. Zettel the tackle.
It's just interesting how all these plays end up looking very similar. I mean, this is Julio Jones motioning over to number 3 on one side of the ball, but it's a sub boot to the other side, and it's not him who he's looking for. He's looking for that tight end through the other side. And number 3 receivers, 2 receivers outside of Julio. He comes to the third one. I swear, every time he gets in there, Matt Ryan's looking for him.
Now 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. Ryan, Julio Jones. He's in. Touchdown.
Well-designed little screen. So now both the Julio's touchdowns are on screens in the air, and this is just, it's hard to stop this. Julio's got the size to run through, but he's got these 2 guys blocking right in front of him. It's just a quick pick up, throw it to him, and size is an advantage when you're Julio Jones. And he just punches right through Denzel Ward, whoever else here is trying to stop him. I think the ball clearly got across there with the 2nd, 3rd, 4th effort. Nice drive set up by that KZ interception for Atlanta.
Touchdown has been confirmed, so after going 0 for the season, Julio Jones into the end zone for the 2nd consecutive game. Here's to Vecchio for the extra point. Falcons lead by 3. Following the Cleveland turnover. Ryan to Jones, 10-7 Atlanta.
This game is sponsored by KFC's new chicken and waffles, available for a limited time. And by Chevy. Chevy has earned J.D. Power Dependability Awards across cars, trucks, and SUVs.
6 plays, 45 yards. Set up by the 33-yard interception return by Damontae Kazee. Of the pass thrown by Dontrell Hilliard. There's Matt Ryan along with his offensive coordinator, Steve Sarkisian. Falcons have their first lead. This is Peppers on the run. Jabril Peppers out to the 21-yard line. So we take you back to the interception on the pass thrown by Hilliard.
And here's Kazee right here. But I want you, the important thing here to watch is watch this receiver. He runs right here. He needs to come across the field more because there's only one receiver in the route, and it's Perriman, and Kazee has nothing else to do but come over to that side of the field. So that was really an easy interception, probably a poor decision. Freddie Kitchens went to the kitchen one more time than he probably should have.
I was waiting for that. He threw the kitchen sink at the Falcons during that possession. Mayfield on first down, complete. Out to the 40-yard line, still on his feet is Antonio Callaway. 25-yard connection.
This is quick strike here, well executed. And one thing that Baker Mayfield told us, one way to get better, just be decisive. And all day today, Katie, I've seen decisive throws. Receivers coming out of their breaks and the ball is hitting them in the face. That's exactly what you're looking for from offense. And that ball came out at the very end. Trufant punched it out, but fortunately it bounced right back into his lap.
Baker Mayfield now 10 for 10 to start this game. Here's Chubb pushing his way forward, and he gains 3. Out to the 48-yard line, setting up 2nd down and 7. Nick Chubb taking over as the starter following the trade of Carlos Hyde to Jacksonville.
I think he's been really good. I think he's shown that it was okay to let Carlos Hyde go. We saw a couple of games early in the year where he had some explosive runs, but it's the patience that he's been able to find here in his run of games that really shows that, yes, he was worth being a starter here.
Pass complete to Orson Charles, tight end who was lined up in the backfield. Charles into Falcons territory, 3rd down and 1.
Orson Charles is not a big receiver on this football team. It may be his second catch of the year, I think. But he is a great blocker. He's more of an H-back than a tight end.
And how about this? 9 different Browns with receptions on Mayfield's 11 completions today.
I think that says a lot about what I was saying earlier about his decisiveness. I think Freddie Kitchens and him have really got together and said, where are your eyes supposed to be on this read and make the decisive throw.
Now it's Mayfield on the sneak, but play was blown dead. Timeout was taken by the Falcons prior to the snap.
Prior to the snap, Atlanta timeout. 30-second timeout.
So Atlanta using their first timeout. Saturday, the fight for the college football playoffs is on, starting with Shea Patterson at number 4, Michigan. They try to keep things rolling against Indiana on FS1. Then in prime time, Kyler Murray and 6th-ranked Oklahoma look to make a statement against Kansas on Fox, or catch it all on the Fox Sports app. Question, Rondé. Last week, Greg Williams and the Browns went for it 3 times on 4th down. Are they in a situation here where if they don't make it, they're going for it?
I would say yes. And I think what they've learned last week was, look, I'm Greg Williams, I'm going to tell my offensive coordinator, Freddie Kitchens, I'm going to give you a wink or whatever it is that they do. You're in 4-down territory. And I got to imagine you're playing a team that's really hot. You know how explosive Atlanta's offense is. That, yes, this is a situation where I'm going to take advantage of this. Our offense is moving the ball pretty well. Why not make this 2-down territory?
On 3rd and 1, it's Chubb, and he picks up a first down. And much more to the 35-yard line of the Falcons, gain of 11.
Yeah, this is a great blocking up front, just inside zone. He's got Charles in front of him here again, and he picks up Ishmael, and that's exactly where that ball runs. And talked about patience just a second ago with Nick Chubb. A lot of young runners want to get to the hole way too fast, so it's learning to slow it down in your head that makes you a good runner. And I think you'll see more of that as Nick Chubb gets more experience.
1st and 10 from the Falcons 35. It's Chubb once again. And he gains 4 more yards down to the 31-yard line of the Falcons. Fast-moving first half as the clock winds down. And we hit the 2-minute warning here in Cleveland with the Browns on the move, trailing Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons by 3. 2 minutes remaining, first half in Cleveland. Kenny Albert, Rondé Barber, and Sarah Walsh. Baker Mayfield in his 7th start has started this game 11 for 11. First Browns quarterback to do that since Josh McCown back in 2015. But rookie back, Dontrell Hilliard threw an interception earlier. Here's Chubb, another first down. Nick Chubb takes it all the way to the Falcons' 11-yard line as he gains 20 on that run.
Well, there's a great cut here by Nick Chubb. You'll see it. He's going to his left and then decides, I got my hole right there, right behind Zeitler, and he just runs right into this Falcons secondary unmolested. That is a great run. This offense, Kenny, has been creative, right? We've seen a lot of different formations. We've seen some pace, some urgency coming out of the huddle. I like what I'm seeing.
1:20 remaining in the half. Penalty marker.
False start. Number 24 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's the first accepted penalty in this game.
I don't even remember another flag. What was the other flag?
It was early on, and the Falcons declined the penalty.
Oh, that's right.
Motion on Mayfield. When he stepped away and looked towards the sideline when they went for the fake on the direct snap to Chubb.
That clock was...
Push him over.
I think they're trying to decide whether or not that's going to be a 10-second runoff or they're going to choose a timeout because the clock was running.
Please set the game clock to 1:18. By rule, under a minute with the game clock running requires 10 seconds to be taken off the game clock for a false start. Please set the game clock to 1:08.
It's under 2
Cleveland
minutes.
has elected not to take a timeout.
Under 2 minutes, not 1 minute. So they elect no timeout.
There's a minute and 8 seconds on the 16-yard line. There's no reason to take a timeout there. No, save it.
First down at 15 following the penalty. Again, it's Chubb.
And to be honest with you, I'm sure they're probably trying to decide.
Now the Falcons take a timeout.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're trying to think that why give them any more time, Atlanta, if we do end up scoring here.
Back in Cleveland, just over 1 minute remaining in this second quarter. Second down and 13 for the Browns. As Mayfield throws complete, Chubb will take it in for a Cleveland touchdown.
I got to tell you, this is awesome execution by Baker Mayfield. It's a faker's reverse. Then he's going to pretend like he's going to give a screen to the other side, but keep an eye on Nick Chubb, 24. All along, that's who Baker Mayfield's throwing this ball to. Well executed. The offensive line performed their jobs perfectly. And then again, Baker Mayfield with the decisive, accurate throw to his running back. Well done.
So the rookies combine. The Browns' second touchdown. First touchdown reception for Nick Chubb. Browns are back on top. Now, everyone told us, Baker Mayfield, Greg Williams, that Chubb's a pretty quiet guy. And check out this interaction with the veteran offensive line coach Bob Wiley recently.
Hey, Greg, sit down.
No,
You gotta play, sit down.
I usually stand the entire game. And then I sat literally right beside me. I had no room whatsoever. And I was like more uncomfortable sitting down than standing up.
You sat there for a while.
Yeah, man, I had to. He made me.
That's classic. He's a great coach. I don't know if I want him sitting that close to me.
Bob Wiley said, sit down, you're always on your feet, you're in the game. And then Bob sat down right next to him.
Yeah, well, with one more catch, Kenny, Nick Chubb will match the number he had coming in. He only came in with 3 catches. He got 2 today and a touchdown. So as this kid continues to get better and the offense continues to build around him, this could be an exciting football team here, even this season. I know there's a lot of talk about where they are and coaches and whatnot, but they got some talent.
They certainly do. 55 seconds on the clock. What's coming up at halftime?
Coming up on the Visa halftime live from Fort Benning, Georgia. The Giants will take on the Colts. The Patriots go for 7 in a row in Tennessee, and the Cardinals go to KC to take on the Chiefs. You won't want to miss it. See if you can hear us at halftime.
What a scene that is at Fort Benning. You see how big that helicopter was? Man, these guys are doing a great job having fun.
About 110 miles south of Atlanta, bit west. Falcons go to work. They have 1 timeout from the 25-yard line as the catch is made by Julio Jones. How about Carissa Thompson skydiving?
Oh, man. No reason to jump out of a perfectly good plane. Good for her.
Kudos to Carissa on our pregame show.
So if you're wondering, this is why Cleveland wasn't taking any timeouts. 50 seconds is more than enough time for Atlanta to move down the football field and at least get a field goal opportunity, and they get the ball after the half. So we understood the thinking there of Cleveland.
Right, they deferred at the start of the game. 18 yards from Ryan to Jones from the 43. This is Ito Smith out of the backfield, and he gains 3. Clock continues to run, down to 35 seconds.
And they'll save that timeout until they get into field goal range. Try to move everything quickly until then.
From the 45. That pass from Ryan is off the hand of Ito Smith. Clock stops and 26 seconds.
It's actually probably not a bad incompletion at this juncture. You got to convert the third down anyways, but you save yourself a little bit of time. Not sure if Ito would have caught that, or Smith would have caught that if he could have gotten out of bounds, but you go, big third down. This Browns defense done a good job so far today on third down. They've held the Falcons to 1 of 4 opportunities.
They must get to the Browns 47 for a first down. A pump fake, a second pump fake from Ryan, wrapped up, down he goes.
Well, he was looking for his tight end, Hooper, in the middle of the football field. And you'll see the coverage just come late. I think it's Buddy Calhoun again, who jumps right in front of him. Jannard Avery back there as well. Good job again by that Browns defense.
First half comes to an end on that sack of Matt Ryan. Browns lead by 4 at the half. To Fort Benning, Georgia we go for the Visa halftime report. Fires to the end zone, and the catch is made for a touchdown by Rashard Higgins. Julio Jones. He's in. Touchdown. Chubb will take it in for a Cleveland touchdown. Today's game flow brought to you by Progressive. With the Cleveland Browns looking to break a 4-game losing streak, leading the Atlanta Falcons at halftime by the score of 14-10. Kenny Albert, Rondé Barber, good first half for the Browns. The only Falcons touchdown coming off a Cleveland turnover.
Well, if you came into this game and said that the Browns would be winning at halftime, down a turnover, I'd say no way. But this is what we mentioned in the open. This is where the Atlanta Falcons have to prove that they're worth one of these contender spots in the playoffs. But again, this Browns team, they're doing everything right today. They're winning on third down. But more importantly to me, the offense has found a rhythm. Baker Mayfield doesn't have an incompletion yet, and they're running the football. Those are formulas for success at home. If you're Cleveland, they got to continue to do that and see if they can finish the game, because they've been in some contests this year, Kenny. Only 3 of their losses really were out of hand. The one to the Chargers, Pittsburgh took them advantage of them really well, and then last week at Kansas City. Other than that, they got 4 overtime games, so they've been in some close football games this year.
Right, their first 5 games were decided by a grand total of 13 points. But they've gone in the other direction over the last 4. Falcons will get the ball first. Joseph will kick it off. Marvin Hall back deep for Atlanta. Hall will take it out from 4 yards deep. He is out to the 22-yard line. As we head down to the field, check in with Sarah.
Hey guys, Dan Quinn said this run defense has to be much better for the Falcons. He again said tackling is an issue, and as we know, that's something that's bothered him all season long. He talked to us this week about it in meetings, that this team has to tackle better. As for the Browns, Greg Williams told us this has really gone as scripted for them. Time of possession was huge. They've controlled that. He talked about Baker being extremely efficient, and he's so impressed with the way he is taking charge, guys.
All right, thanks. Great job, Sarah. Falcons start from their 22. They had the ball at the end of the second quarter. Ryan sacked on the final play. Julio Jones makes the catch out to the 46-yard line. 24-yard connection.
Well, no surprise that they go right out and try to get the ball to Julio Jones, and I apologize, I don't have my telestrator up and working, but little Dino route, in, out, in, and it's a tight window, but Matt Ryan is no way is he afraid to throw that in there, and he knows his big receiver is going to come down with a catch.
All right, so explain Dino route.
That's a well, give me a second, I will.
There's Coleman.
Oh, great play.
Terrific play made by Jamie Collins, who's been under some scrutiny the last couple of weeks.
Oh, people we're looking at his effort, and when people outside of the building start talking about your effort, then yeah, it's probably a question mark. But this is a great play. Runs away from the offensive tackle and still makes the play in the backfield. Larry Ogunjobi was going to be there to clean it up too. But again, we're seeing this inspired type play from this Browns defense today. It's what's really got them with this lead right now, 4 points.
Ogunjobi and Agba combined in that big sack of Ryan at the end of the second quarter. Now Collins makes the play for a loss of 8. Empty backfield, second down and 18. Again, pressure from the Browns defense. Ryan able to get rid of it to Sanu. Ball came loose. Browns have it. TJ Carey on the recovery.
This is a perfect example, Kenny, of why you don't reach the ball out unless you're going for the goal line. Mohamed Sanu, I don't know why he's being so careless with this ball right here. There's no reason to. The only thing that can happen is he loses football on contact. Now we'll have to take a look here and see if his knee was down before that contact. It's very, very close. This Browns defense has thrived all year long on taking the football away. It's not on the ground there. The ball's out. So
all turnovers are reviewed. It looked like the ball came loose before Sanu's knee hit the turf. And you mentioned, Rondé, Browns lead the league in takeaways. If this stands, it is their 24th of the season. The turnover has been confirmed.
Well, let's see if Freddie Kitchens decides to draw up a shot play here towards the end zone. Get a takeaway, sudden change for this defense. They're kind of reeling. So when you try to take advantage of them on the outside.
From the 41, play action. Mayfield gets hit. Ball came loose. Mayfield picks it up and gains positive yardage.
Come on. Come on, Baker, really? Brooks Reed absolutely just runs right by Greg Robinson on the left side of your screen here, number 50, and don't have to sack the quarterback to get a sack. Knocks it out, but this is why everybody loves Baker Mayfield. They use that term, gamer. This is being a gamer. I know a lot of quarterbacks are just falling on that ball and be content with keeping possession. He picks it up and gets positive yardage.
6 yards on the play. Second down and 4. This is Duke Johnson. He picks up a Browns first down.
And really good recognition here by Baker Mayfield, understanding that this was man-on-man coverage. Right? And he knew that his running back was going to just scat release, just pop out of the backfield on the pressure that came. Dumped it right to him. First down.
Gain of 10 for Johnson. New set of downs for the Browns, looking to capitalize on the Atlanta Falcons turnover. From the 25, this is Chubb. Chubb still going. Picks up another Cleveland first down, gain of 11.
This was an awesome cut back here, Kenny. This ball was supposed to go right side all the way. This ball's trying to go to the Baker Mayfield's right. Look at this jump cut. 2-foot acceleration, and then again breaking tackles of the Falcons defenders. It's been a problem. You heard Sarah Walsh's report talking about the tackling issues in Atlanta, and they continue. But a lot of that was because of the strong running there of Nick Chubb.
Second round pick out of Georgia. Only Herschel Walker gained more yards in school history than Nick Chubb. By the way, Todd Gurley's third on that list.
Good list to be on.
Mayfield throws, looking for Jarvis Landry. Brian Poole on the coverage, and that's Mayfield's first incompletion. He had connected on his first 13 attempts.
Yeah, this has been a very, very good start for Baker Mayfield. And I really, it almost feels, Kenny, like every play is a specialty play. And to me, that speaks to what Freddie Kitchens is as an offensive coordinator, maybe what Todd Haley and Hugh Jackson weren't able to provide here. These guys are hitting their stride here for 2 weeks in a row, and it looks like a very good marriage to me.
Duke Johnson in the backfield, second down and 10. On the toss, this is Johnson. Slow to get up, Foye Oluokun, the rookie out of Yale.
Who's getting a lot of playing time now because of his ability to play in the run game and be a good tackler. You know, Dan Quinn told us what they love about him is he plays square at the line of scrimmage, and he's really physical, which is kind of what they've been missing since Deion Jones got injured earlier in the season.
And they expect Jones back real soon.
Should be, right? You got to think he's been out for 6 weeks, so he's coming back. It should be here in the next week or two.
3rd down and 6 for the Browns. They must get to the 5 for a first down. And they do. First down and a touchdown. Duke Johnson. 3rd touchdown pass of the game for Baker Mayfield.
Again, I'm just more and more impressed with the calm and poise and understanding of where the ball should go by Baker Mayfield. You see Duke Johnson right there, 29, just going to slip right through the middle of the field. Not there. Check. His first read wasn't there. He knows exactly where his check down is. And then Duke Johnson doing what Duke Johnson does. Splitting the defense, getting in for the score. What a great drive there, Kenny. After the takeaway on defense, being complimentary on offense and scoring. They got 21 points on the board against this Falcons team.
So they capitalize on the Atlanta turnover. The extra point just inside the left upright. First 3-touchdown game of Baker Mayfield's young career.
Today's game is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, handing off big savings to you.
Duke Johnson into the end zone to extend the Cleveland Browns lead. And then the celebration, the headbutt with his quarterback, Baker Mayfield. 6 plays, 41 yards. Mayfield with a touchdown pass in each quarter, 21-10 Browns. Marvin Hall is deep. Kickoff taken at the 18-yard line. And then spinning out to the 32 with it was Ryan Hill. Matt Ryan, 15 of 19. Touchdown pass to Julio Jones back in the second quarter.
Well, I know at the top of the show, Sarah told us that Falcons came into this game knowing that this was a talented football team. They couldn't take them lightly. And I asked them yesterday about this being a trap game just because of the record. Well, so far, it looks like they're getting trapped. I know this game's not over, but 11-point lead and start to second half is not where this Falcons team thought they'd be.
Here's Coleman. Across midfield into Browns territory on first down. Tevin Coleman gaining 18.
Oh, that'll help right there, getting Tevin Coleman going. Last week, when this rushing offense had 154 yards, he was a lot of that, just narrowly missing out on a 100-yard day himself.
Off the fake to Coleman. Ryan with time. And then some pressure right before he got rid of it. Pass was intended for Coleman. 2nd and 10 upcoming.
Well, just the Browns dropping into this zone, and they're doing a really good job not buying into the play action. I talked earlier in the game about Atlanta as a play action first football team, but until you get a positive run, a big run by Atlanta, and you think as a defense that you would be like, okay, this is another run, but they're playing smart, seems to reading their keys. That was clearly a pass. They dropped in, took away his underneath routes. He had to dump it off.
2nd and 10 from the Browns, 49. Ryan connects with Hooper at the 46-yard line. Nice tackle made by Tanner Vallejo.
I've been looking for these matchups all day long, and Denzel Ward's in the slot on Mohamed Sanu, which is a little bit of a surprise. I was pretty sure that he was going to end up on Calvin Ridley all day, but Matt Ryan, seeing these man options, is in every single instance he's going to his tight end, Austin Hooper. I think he believes, and this Falcons offense believe, that's the matchup they can best win.
That's Hooper's 6th reception. 3rd down and 7. Falcons must get to the 39 for a first down. Ryan to the outside, nearly picked off by Denzel Ward.
Well, here's that premium matchup we were just talking about, Kenny. Ward on Calvin Ridley. And I got to tell you, this kid does a lot of special things. His movement is elite. And look at him come out of that break. See how fast he came out of that break looking for the football? Good interceptors do that. Take that first couple of steps towards the target, find the football, and nearly his 4th interception of the year.
We had 2 in the opener against Pittsburgh. Bosher punting from his 45-yard line. Fair catch is called for by Peppers. back at the 8. So the Browns with the football, leading the Falcons by 11. Who is Freddie Kitchens? Well, he was Alabama's starting quarterback from 1995 through 97.
Well, he's been both the running back coach and quarterback coach in the league. He's got a nice little history. It's nice to see he shaved his beard. He looks scraggly when we saw him on Friday.
Looks a lot younger today.
He's way younger. He got a lot of gray in that beard for being not that old of a man, so.
A rare incompletion from Mayfield, only his second. Mr. Football in Alabama during his high school days, and then he was a graduate assistant at LSU under Nick Saban. First NFL gig under Bill Parcells with the Cowboys. Worked for Bruce Arians in Arizona. Spent many years with Todd Haley, the man he replaced. They were together in Dallas and then again in Arizona. He came here with Todd Haley.
And his last year in Arizona as a running back coach is kind of how he ended up being a running back coach here. It seems to me like he should have been working with the quarterbacks all along here.
On second down, it's Chubb. Nick Chubb across the 40. One man to beat. Still going. Chubb will take this all the way. 92 yards for a Browns touchdown. The longest run in Cleveland Browns franchise history.
The very first game I did of Nick Chubb's, he had 2 long touchdown runs. And I'm going to tell you what, he's going to give a lot of credit to his offensive line. Watch Zeitler, number 70, in your screen right here. This is just a stretch zone run, cuts right off of that, and it blocks outside. And then at the end, watch Antonio Callaway. Go that way, go that way. You can outrun him, and he does. For a big man, he has a lot of speed. And wow, Kenny, this young Cleveland Browns team came here to play today. They got to bring this fan base back. They are excited now.
The extra point is good. 28-10, Cleveland.
Today's game is sponsored by Ford. Built Ford proud. And by Burger King. Get 10 crispy chicken nuggets for just $1 only at Burger King.
How about Nick Chubb? Longest run in the history of the Browns franchise. Back in 1959, Bobby Mitchell, a 90-yard run against the Washington Redskins.
Well, all I do is see him run away from people. I had to go look this up because I'm saying, how fast was Nick Chubb coming out? The scouts say he ran a 4.52. Well, if that's a 4.52, that's the fastest 4.52 I've ever seen.
In case you're wondering, Jim Brown's career-long 80 yards, 1963 against Washington.
Well, there was games earlier in the year where he was averaging about 10.8 yards per carry on the 3 carries he was getting a game. I remember the old coaching staff was saying, we got to get him more touches, got to get more touches. Well, they're finding him more touches here these past couple of weeks. And the one thing that offense wants to do, Kenny, we'll see if they're able to do it going forward, run the ball when you know you're going to run it. And they got a lead here in this game. See if they're able to do that. They get back on offense.
Browns have their biggest lead in any game this season. This is Sanu, who coughed it up on his last touch to Los Angeles for a game break. Mike Hill.
Hey, kind of surprised by your score, but look at what the Titans are doing to the Patriots in Nashville. Derrick Henry with the easy score to second, making it 24-10 Titans. Remember, though, New England has won 6 in a row, Kenny and Rondé.
All right, thanks very much, Mike. Second down and 2 after Sanu picked up 8. And now Ito Smith for a Falcons first down.
Well, we'll see if Atlanta's able to stay patient here, Kenny. And you're down 18 points in the third quarter. It's not a very familiar position here in the past couple of weeks for Atlanta. But now they're in the mode where they have to start chasing the football game.
Falcons have been involved in a number of high-scoring games this year. They've scored at least 30 points 5 times. They've allowed at least 33 times. They trail this game by 18. Play action on first down. Ryan throws intended for Julio Jones.
Really good coverage by T.J. Carey here. He just double end route, breaking route. You see Mohamed Sanu go across. It opens up a big window. And if you're an outside corner playing man-to-man, that's the hardest throw to defend, because you're playing outside leverage, and this is a leverage-based football team. If there's somebody in the middle of the field, corners are going to be outside. And T.J. Carey does a really nice job staying in Julio Jones' hip pocket there.
2nd and 10. Ryan's pass caught. That's Ridley's first reception today. And then he's met by Demarius Randall.
Well, Greg Williams doing a great job on defense. Look at, you see 95 on the left side, Ogunjobi in the middle, Jannard Avery. Who's coming, who's dropping? It's only a 4-man blitz. It looks like it's going to be pressure, but it's just zone. So Matt Ryan dumps it off in the flat, expecting room for Ridley or these receivers to run, but there's nowhere for them to go because they all have their eyes on the quarterback. Demarius Randall, who missed last week's game, not sure what was going on with his absence, makes a nice tackle there.
No gain on the play for Ridley. Falcons just 1 for 6. Best in the league on 3rd down for the season. Pump fake from Ryan. And then he's tackled from behind by Chris Smith. Falcons forced to punt.
Browns just drop back in deep coverage, drop 6 guys at the sticks and say, I dare you to try to throw it in here, Matt Ryan. And then the pressure is just on him now. Nowhere to release this football. Somebody's eventually got to get there and get off on 3rd down again. Falcons now 1 for 7 on 3rd down for the day.
Peppers is back deep. They got the 14 by Jabril Peppers. 6-yard return. Excellent stand by the Browns defense. Their offense has scored on 3 straight possessions.
This game is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Matt Ryan, 18 of 25 with a touchdown. What a game for Baker Mayfield. Only 2 incompletions, 3 touchdown passes, and how about that quarterback rating?
I don't know what perfect is, but that's pretty close to it.
158.3.
Of course Kenny knows that.
Here's Chubb. Ran for 92 on his last touch. Gains 5, and for more on the Browns rookie quarterback, down to Sarah.
Kenny, you know, Baker Mayfield had so many wins coming out of college. He said he really had to flip the switch when it came to his mindset here. He said when you're part of a winning program, you focus on eliminating the negatives. But here, they're at a point where they really have to find the positives and build on those. And he's got plenty of positives today to pick from. He also told us that when they won that first game this year, it was like the Super Bowl. And he doesn't want that to be the culture here. They don't want one win to make this town go off. They want the fans here to be used to multiple wins over and over again.
Right, and that was the win over the Jets when he came on in relief of Tyrod Taylor. Mayfield's pass intended for Landry. His only win as a starter came in overtime against Baltimore. They've lost 4 straight. Have an 18-point lead today.
Well, he's been really efficient, Kenny, and just like I said earlier in this game, it's a lot of specialty plays. The offense looks way more varied than it has in the past. It's not static. It's not predictable, so to speak. We saw that one 3-back formation again on the first play of this drive, and I just think they're doing a lot of good things with Freddie Kitchens as OC.
3rd down and 5. Mayfield escapes pressure, and he will run for a 1st down. Out of bounds at the 35-yard line. And now some extracurricular activity across the field involving Rashard Higgins and Desmond Trufant.
And our eyes were diverted the other side of the field, but we're looking at right in front, 21 on 81 here, and just towards the end of the play, Trufant pushes him out of bounds, and he just comes at him. He didn't want that conversation, but the Falcons going to play man-to-man in that situation. You got to understand that if nobody's watching Baker Mayfield, he's going to pull it and run. There's no need for him to force the ball in completion here in this situation. He just took it and got the yardage with his legs.
No flags were thrown.
It was somewhat of an innocuous of a confrontation there.
Been involved in some of those. Here's Duke Johnson, and Now a flag is thrown as the ball came loose. Looks like the Falcons came up with it, but there was a flag thrown earlier in the play.
Holding. Number 78 offense. Penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
So the Browns turn it over for the second time.
This is just at the end of the play. Ismail just rips it out of his hands as he's going to the ground, and it's not like that was, it's not like that ball was loose. It was pretty tight. But Kenny, just that last picture we saw, I mean, his knee was close to being on the ground there. And again, all turnovers are reviewed, so we'll get another look at it. But
we will review the previous play.
We'll be back after this message from Farmers Insurance. Morelli taking a look at the last play, see whether or not the knee was down.
And this is the best look we have here. The knee's down there and the ball is still in his possession, so it's hard to tell when it was actually coming out. Again, Mike Pereira, he knows a little bit more about this type of stuff than we do. It's good to be with you, Mike. I haven't seen you all year.
I know, I spend a little time on the road, so I'm not here often in what we now call Dean's Dome, not Pereira's Cube. But this is a close one. I think he's down. I think he still has control of the ball with the knee on the ground. And if they do put him down, remember there was a holding penalty. Now that holding penalty was declined because of the ruling of a change of possession, but it will be put back on if they actually do rule him down.
Mike, because this was so close and it was ruled a fumble on the field, do you think there's a chance that they leave the ball in Atlanta's possession here?
I'll tell you, Randy, I think there's a chance anytime we go into replay.
Yeah.
That, we're never truly sure. It's got to be clear and obvious. That's what they talk about. And to me, you try to see when does the ball actually move out of his right hand. And to me, I just don't think it does until after it is pulled out. But you're right. I mean, you go under the review in New York, and you are basically presuming that the call on the field is right, and you have to have clear and obvious to reverse it. But I'm like one of those in replay. I look at it and think, hey, to me, this is enough to put him down. It ought to be down.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
After reviewing the play, the runner's knee was down. He was down by contact. However, there was holding on the play. 10-yard penalty will be enforced from the 35-yard line. Still first down. Please set the game clock. 4:21.
Kenny, as they say, that's why Mike makes the big bucks.
Yes.
But you're right, there was a holding call, so setting up now 1st and 20 for the Browns here.
They'll take it, though.
Yeah, absolutely, they'll take
it. The turnover.
Yeah, because at this point, 18-point lead, still another quarter to go. I'm not, you're not putting anything in them, but you start thinking about the clock. This is where, what I said in the last series, you want to be able to run the football when they know you're going to run the football, and that's going to take these guys up front having their best push of the day. Petonio, Tretter, and Zeitler, these guys have good games so far this afternoon.
1st and 20, movement prior to the snap. Mayfield to the outside.
Good hard count by Baker Mayfield there.
Offside, number 95, defense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
They need to work on their hard count mechanisms at receiver, though. And Baker Mayfield was assuming that the receiver's going to stop for a little quick ball, and the receiver's thinking he's going to run a takeoff. Those are the things you learn as you go along. Experience will be his guide down the road.
Pass is caught by Chubb. Nick Chubb out to the 37-yard line. He had a 92-yard touchdown run earlier in this quarter, setting a new Browns franchise record. Of course, the all-time NFL longest rush, Tony Dorsett, 99 yards for the Cowboys against the Vikings, January of '83. Our friend and colleague Brian Baldinger was one of his blockers on that play.
Nice.
Second down and 8.
180.
On the delay, it's Chubb. Penalty marker. Chubb out to the 44-yard line.
Holding. Number 78 offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
That's Greg Robinson, the left tackle.
Definite hold on Bruce Irvin. Center your screen here. 78 there on the left. Just beating up Bruce Irvin. That's an easy call. When that defender's shoulder can't get free of a grasp, the officials obviously know it's a hold. I don't know what he's complaining about. That was an easy one.
Penalties on 3 straight plays. So it will be second down and 18 for the Browns, who have scored touchdowns on their last 3 possessions and 4 of their last 5.
And interesting, too, they're staying aggressive. I mean, you might think that they would get under center or try to run the football here, but Baker Mayfield's been in shotgun all of these. First play was a pass. We tried to run a sprint draw on that last play and got the holding call. So let's see what they come up with here. If they stay aggressive, they try to continue to run out the ball here.
Mayfield throws. It's Duke Johnson out of the backfield. And Johnson will be wrestled down by Jordan Richards at the 36-yard line. Johnson coming off a 9-reception game against Kansas City last week. Yes, they called the football the Duke in honor of the late Wellington Mara, longtime owner of the Giants, and a big game for Duke Johnson against the Chiefs.
Absolutely. I mean, he just wanted to get him the ball. All 9 of those catches were on all 9 of his targets, and he's an exciting guy out of the backfield. You have to find ways to get the ball to your best players. And again, I reiterate this, 2 weeks in a row, Freddie Kitchens is doing that with all of his football players. It's nice to see this team on a roll here.
Third down and 9, it's Johnson. He'll be shoved out of bounds by Irvin. Not nearly enough. So the Browns will punt for only the 2nd time today. Now, Duke Johnson, Ron, you've been talking about Duke. He's the only running back in the league, at least 50 receptions each of the last 3 seasons. Nobody else has done it.
And that's the compliment that they have in those 2 players, because Nick Chubb is not necessarily considered that 3-down receiving type back like some of these other young players in the league. But what he can't do is what you have a Duke Johnson for.
Justin Hardy's back deep. He's shielding the sun. Looking right up into it. And calls for the fair catch at the 19-yard line. Late 3rd quarter. Help those affected by the California wildfires by visiting redcross.org, calling 1-800-RED-CROSS, or texting the word CA Wildfires to 90999 to make a $10 donation.
Some of these pictures and images from California are amazingly tragic looking, and thoughts and prayers with everybody out there. Our studios are out there at Fox, so you know, we have some people in our side of the business that are affected by those fires.
We certainly wish everybody the best of luck out west. Bryant's pass bounces away from the intended receiver, Tevin Coleman. Second and 10 upcoming for the Falcons, who have actually run one more play than Cleveland, but the yardage nearly a 2-to-1 margin.
Yeah, it's those explosives, right? The long run, a couple long passes.
The 92 on one play.
Yeah, it's the difference, and Falcons team just can't seem to match them on offense, and credit to this defense again.
Falcons team that has won 3 straight after a 1-4 start. Catches made by Mohamed Sanu out at the 26-yard line.
And don't forget to mention, too, Kenny, that the Browns are doing this without 2 of their corners. E.J. Gaines went on IR last week, and Terrence Mitchell went on IR after week 4. T.J. Carey, who was the nickel back, is having to jump out and play corner, and you got a rookie at the other corner in Denzel Ward. So it's a credit to them. This secondary really stepping up to the occasion.
Sure are. Third down and 3. Falcons just 1 of 7 on third down. Bryant's pass caught. Nice catch. He had 3 Browns defenders around him. And Sanu able to make the play for an Atlanta first down.
Oh, he's number 3 in that bunch right there, number 12, and he's got Genard Avery underneath him. He's got Buddy Calhoun right there with him, and another defender coming across the defense, but still nice throw and catch.
Maybe Collins was shaken up on the play. He heads to the sidelines. Julio Jones into Cleveland territory to the Browns 43. That's his 5th catch today, and that will take us to the end of the 3rd quarter in Cleveland. The Browns with 2 touchdowns in the quarter. First, Duke Johnson, and then 92 yards, Nick Chubb. As we get set to begin the 4th quarter, this is what took place during the commercial break, Rondé.
Raheem Morris, receiver coach, talking to Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, trying to get on the same page here, because this offense that's been so explosive the past 4 weeks, 350-plus yards a game, is sitting at about 190 passing for Matt Ryan.
Right.
They got to get back in this football game.
350 and 3 straight for Matt. This catch is made for a first down by Marvin Hall. That's his first reception today, and he picks up 12.
Well, they're going to start moving quick here. At least they should, if their demeanor is what we know that it will be. Get to the line of scrimmage, and, well, as I say that, Matt Ryan pulls him back into the huddle.
Trailing by 18 points. First and 10 from the 31-yard line of the Browns. 3 wide receivers set. Jones split out to the left. Sanu slot to the right. Ridley out to the right side. And it's Julio Jones who makes the catch for another Falcons first down. And now Atlanta's in the red zone.
Well, you feel like they're getting a little bit of a groove, because Cleveland right now is just, they're going to play 2 high safeties. They're not going to let anything get behind them. Corners are playing a little bit softer, so you're going to get these little dump-off little passes to these receivers here. No need to challenge them right now.
From the 19-yard line on first down. Ryan for Jones. There's a flag.
He's working on T.J. Carey here, and this is going to be pass interference on the defense.
Pass interference, number 38 defense. Automatic first down.
Just a tough matchup. You put him in this situation. Julio Jones has this little reduced split, and he actually has pretty good coverage, and it's tough to see why that's pass interference, Kenny. You're allowed to hand fight. He did not affect Julio Jones' ability to catch that football.
Oh, not at all.
That's replay has proved that call wrong.
First and goal from the 6. Falcons gain 13 yards on the penalty. Ryan's pass is caught by Hooper, but not much. Gains a yard. That's his 7th reception today as the Falcons shuffle in personnel. Ridley and Sanu back onto the field. 2nd and goal. And now Ridley will head back off.
Falcons have been really good in the red zone this year, Kenny. Other than that Week 1 game at Philly, where they just stalled, they found a way to score when they've gotten down here.
Right after struggling in the red zone last season. 2nd and goal from the 5. It is Tevin Coleman. Took a hard hit, stopped just short.
And Jabril Peppers, and he looked like he was going to tumble in to the end zone here, and he just thumped him to the ground. That's definitely short.
Falcons quickly back up to the line. 3rd and goal. Coleman in the backfield.
At these tight splits by these receivers, Kenny, usually you get some boot action when you see these looks, and they try to get them jump off sides for half a yard, I guess.
Looked like it was going to be a sneak.
They're going to check. They're going to talk about it, and they're wondering if Matthews jumped first.
Neutral zone infraction, number 55 defense. After the single ball, still 3rd down.
Genard Avery, 55 for the Browns.
When you see right over the center, And he said 55, but he meant 65. He's talking about Larry Ogunjobi right there in the middle. That's who jumped, and then Matthews responded to him.
Still 3rd and goal from the half-yard line. Ryan hands it off, and Coleman.
I don't think he got there, Kenny.
Did not get there. Mark down shy of the goal line.
Initially, it looked like he was going to be able to find his way. But then Joe Schobert, you just saw him squeeze into your screen right there. Hit him head on and just stopped his progress. And he's definitely short.
4th down. 4th and goal. Ryan out of the shotgun. Jones split out wide to the right. On 4th down, Ryan throws incomplete. Off the hand of the tight end, Eric Saubert. What a stand by Joe Schobert and the Browns defense.
Today's game is sponsored by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL.
Well, you want to know the anatomy of a goal line stand? It starts right here. Watch Jabril Peppers just hammer Coleman to the ground, gets him at the 1-yard line. And then this 4th down play, we saw Schobert make a great play on the tight end.
90-yard run for Chubb here.
Ball start, number 70, offense. After this to the goal, still 1st down.
They can't go any farther into the towards the goal line. So we'll go back and look at this. Schobert 53, middle of your screen. Again, I don't have my telestrator to point him out, but does a great job here. And we knew one thing as well, that they were not going to get the ball to Julio Jones. He was double, maybe triple teamed on that last play.
More flags.
Ball start, number 75 offense. Half the distance, still 1st down.
Well, you're trying to, there's no harm in taking a false start here, right? Just how much closer can you get? It's inside the 1-yard line, it's inside the 1-yard line. Baker Mayfield's throwing these hard counts out here, trying to get the Falcons to jump offside so he can give himself a little bit of room here, but again, it's just, that's situational football. Really good understanding by Baker Mayfield to go with this hard count.
They basically just huddled into dog pound.
I'm sure there's dog pounders and loving that.
Back-to-back penalties. And now Mayfield looking to throw out of the end zone. It's complete to Callaway. And then Callaway reaching. He was ruled down before the ball came loose.
Earlier in the game, we talked about how calm Baker Mayfield was and how decisive he was delivering the football. Here it is again. I mean, he comes out, goes through 3 progressions, and fires to his 3rd read here. Antonio Callaway on the other side of the field runs a great route. As soon as he's coming out, the ball is towards him. That is just great execution by this offense and this young quarterback who, I got to tell you, Kenny, if he hadn't come into his own last week, he is definitely in his own today.
Now 17 of 20. 3 touchdown passes for Mayfield. From the 15-yard line out to the 23. 8 more yards for Chubb.
Man, just another good cut, another good jump cut in the hole. It just is as big as this guy is. I mean, he's not small. I mean, he's 230 pounds at 5'11" or whatever he is, and just how quick his feet are. We talked about the patience, waiting for those holes to develop. We've seen it so many times today. He's going to be a good one. He's going to be a really good football player.
He's now up to 171 yards on the ground today on 16 carries, including the 92-yard touchdown run to set a franchise record.
180! What's up?
Here's Chubb once again, and this time Brooks Reed able to make the play.
Well, Atlanta's got to find a way to get off the football field. Their offense has let them down all day today. 10 points on the board is not at all what you'd expect from that explosive Atlanta offense. But this defense really at this point, they have to rise to the occasion. If they don't, they're going to lose this football game.
9.5 remaining, 18-point lead for the Cleveland Browns. 3rd down and 2. Browns are 4 for 6 today on 3rd down.
180. What's that?
It's Chubb, and he will not get there. Stopped a yard shy. So the Browns will punt it away.
Well, that's the stop that they needed. And you always keep your eye on that clock. 9 minutes to go. Can they score 18 points in that time period? I think they can because of the explosiveness of their offense, but good job getting off the field there.
Browns will let the clock run down. Justin Hardy is back deep for Atlanta. Good kick. Taken out to 26 by Hardy.
Good coverage.
Only 5 on the return. A 50-yard punt by Britton Colquitt. They believe today here in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield and the Browns leading the Falcons by 18. 8.5 to play. Falcons start from their 31-yard line. Matt Ryan on 1st down, complete to Ito Smith. Breaks 1 tackle attempt. But then swarming Browns defense holding Smith to a gain of just 1.
That's exactly the right term. Swarming, populating bodies to the football. And Rick Williams' defense is doing their job today, limiting any kind of opportunities for big plays out of this Falcons offense.
2nd down and 9. Ryan complete. Smith again. Gain of 8. Out to the 40-yard line, setting up a 3rd down and 1. Under 8 minutes remaining in Cleveland. Falcons have converted just 2 of 7 on 3rd down today. Making 3 of 8 as the catch is made by Calvin Ridley, only his 2nd reception of the game.
Yeah, Denzel Ward's done a nice job on Calvin Ridley today. Early in the game, we didn't see these matchups, but now it's crunch time. You're going to see 21 on 18, Calvin Ridley on Ward, and Julio is going to get the attention on the other side from probably 2 defenders.
From the 46, on 1st down is Mohamed Sanu into Browns territory. To the Cleveland 47-yard line, a gain of 7.
Get out of bounds. The Falcons can take a breath, can get out of that 2-minute type feel of the offense here and pick up a good play. And now, and conversely, on the other side of the football, Browns can figure out what do we want to do here. Do we want to bring pressure? Do we want to try to stem the tide of this drive? Or do we stay back in coverage and knowing the time is our friend right now?
It's a 3-possession game with the Browns leading by 18. Ryan's pass incomplete. That time he was looking for his tight end, Hooper, who leads the Falcons with 7 receptions today.
Well, they answered our question for us. Greg Williams, I'm going to bring pressure. He brings 5 guys, and then Jamie Collins wraps in, so Matt Ryan has to get the ball out of his hands, but really good coverage on the outside there. T.J. Carey ends up matched up on the tight end, Austin Hooper. Now they set up another 3rd down here.
They're down at 3 against this Browns defense that has played very well today. They must get to the 44 for a 1st down, and they do. It's Ridley, breaks free. Ridley inside the 20, and finally cut down by Bonnie Calhoun after gaining 37 yards.
Well, this is a tenet of the West Coast offense. Just getting a stack. It forces one of the corners to get off. And Calvin Ridley, this is where he's special. That ability to be in space, make people miss. Picks up some nice yardage there, gets them down inside the red area.
From the 16-yard line of the Browns. Ryan over the top. It's Coleman, gain of 6 down to the 10.
Oh, he had Ridley. If he had a second more patience here, watch Ridley run this route right here. There's nobody. He got the safety working on the safeties wide open. And Matt Ryan was trying to get the ball out of his hands quick and missed him.
Remember on their last possession, could not score from the 1. They were stopped on 4th down. 2nd down and 4. And after Carey got a piece of that one, the Falcons now facing another 3rd down situation.
Well, give credit where it's due. TJ Carey makes a nice play there. It was the slant with the blitz. There's a ton of pressure coming from that side of the ball. So Matt Ryan's looking right into the face of that blitz and knows that Julio Jones is over there one-on-one with somebody, and it's TJ Carey, and he makes a nice play on that pass breakup.
Jones split out wide to the left, Sanu to the right side. Coleman in the backfield, 3rd down and 4. 9th play of the drive for Atlanta. Ryan throws, end zone. Ruled down inside the 1. Austin Hooper.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen this route, this little dink out and then up. Tony Gonzalez used to abuse me with that route and cover 2, and I can tell you that's close to the end zone.
Looked like he might have been in.
He may have got in. If he wants to challenge this, he should.
No challenge. And now Ryan looking for Sanu. Incomplete.
Go back to that previous play real quick if we can. Ball is right on the goal. I mean, that's a touchdown.
Absolutely.
Right? It's a touchdown. His feet are in the end zone. The ball is over the line.
Absolutely across the plane.
Possession, maintain control. And I think Dan Quinn, if he would have known that, if he would have got the heads up, or if they weren't trying to go so fast at the line of scrimmage here within this somewhat of a panic trying to score here, he would have challenged that and been rewarded with a touchdown.
Remember, stopped from the 1, 3 straight plays earlier. Ryan, end zone, broken up, looking for Jones. TJ Carey again.
He's having himself a day, isn't he? TJ Carey hadn't mentioned him much, but in crunch time now, when they're trying to score, he's in the slot. You see 11 on 38, and this is a tough route. They're trying to get a natural pick there, but he squeezed under it because he was so close to Julio Jones. And then this ball awareness. This is a special type play by TJ Carey.
That's 4 straight plays from the 1 for the Falcons, unable to cross the goal line. Although it certainly looked like they did on the previous play with Hooper.
Well, count from the inside out, outside in. Number 3, Julio Jones, and wow.
How about that stop by Randall?
Wow. This Browns team is just, it doesn't matter where they are. They have really signed up to beat this team. Randall, 23, standing up right there, just shoots the gap. There's nobody there. The attention was on the 3 receivers lined out to the right, but they were bringing pressure, and he gets him on the ground right away. Loss of yardage.
Now 4th and goal from the 3. Ryan under pressure. He throws. It is Hooper, and he is in. Looked like he was in earlier in this possession, but this time, no doubt about it.
Well, I got to tell you, this is a great job by Matt Ryan. Hooper's flexed out in the slot right there, number 81. This is a 50-50 ball. Just throw it up and hope for the best. And the defender, I can't even see who that is. Their numbers are so convoluted. The defender is in position to make the play, but Austin Hooper, who's had a fantastic day for the Falcons today, comes down with that catch and finds his way into the end zone.
Now the Falcons will go for 2. Look to make it a 10-point game. Ryan is hit and taken down. Back at the 9-yard line by Anthony Zettel. So it's a 12-point game as Ryan connected with Hooper. Although precious time wound off the clock after they did not challenge, and then they can't get in on the 2-point conversion. Watch Anthony Zettel, number 97, who made the play on the 2-point conversion during the celebration. He injures himself.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what he did, but a little bit later on from that, his teammates had that look of, oh my goodness, are you kidding me, on their face. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. He's having a good game today too, Kenny.
Jarvis Landry is back deep for the Browns from the 12. Slides down at the 21-yard line, 9 yards the return by Landry. So with 4:20 remaining, we go back to that play at the goal line, not challenged by Dan Quinn. they would eventually score a touchdown, but wasted 1:14 seconds by not challenging, and it certainly looked to us like across the plane.
Yeah, and that could come back, and we'll have to see as this game goes on if they're able to make up these 12 points here. But this is the time in the game. If you're young quarterback, your young football team, these are the moments where you wish you were a little bit more veteran, knowing how to close out a football game. Let's see what Baker Mayfield comes with here. And again, mentioned it well earlier in the game, run the ball when they know you're going to run it. See if they're able to do it here.
Here's Chubb on first down. And again, you know, if you're Quinn, you know, maybe you feel if your coaches didn't get a good look upstairs, we're at the 1, maybe we score quickly anyway.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they were thinking, Kenny.
Timeout taken with 4:16 remaining. What a day it's been for Baker Mayfield. He has as many touchdown passes as incomplete passes today.
Yeah, just the improvised touchdown earlier, the screen, the setup, the design of the offense, and the execution and the decisiveness of the quarterback is what we've seen all day today. And add in what Nick Chubb has been able to do running the football, and it's the reason why they have a 12-point lead here in the driver's seat to win a football game here at home against the team that's won 3 games in a row in the Falcons.
And a QB rating of 151.2. 3 touchdown passes, only 3 incompletions. Falcons use their first timeout. Play clock winding down. Second down at 9 for the Browns as they keep it on the ground. Down to the 24-yard line. It is Chubb, and now the Falcons will use their second timeout. Chubb up to 176 on the ground today. Saturday, the fight for the college football playoffs is on, starting with Shea Patterson at number 4, Michigan. They try to keep things rolling against Indiana on FS1. Then in prime time, Kyler Murray and 6th-ranked Oklahoma look to make a statement against Kansas on Fox, or catch it all on the Fox Sports app.
Oklahoma had a heck of a finish last night, didn't they, against Oklahoma State?
48-47.
Wow, man, that went for Oklahoma State, went for 2 and didn't make it. A great game.
Baker Mayfield, Heisman Trophy winner out of Oklahoma. Mayfield will get close to a first down. And the clock will stop as he was knocked out of bounds, and that will benefit the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, he took a pop. I'm surprised that Baker didn't try to, well, no, they're in it having to take a timeout, right, Kenny? Is that what they're saying? Or is this ball? Missed that announcement. And they ended up taking a timeout because they're saying his forward progress went back. If he'd have been going forward, the clock would have stopped.
So the Falcons are out of timeouts. Excellent pickup, Coach Barber.
Well, I just saw Dan Quinn down there making sure that if it wasn't a stopped clock with Baker Mayfield going out of bounds there, that he wanted to take the timeout. I never really understood that rule. Somebody gets tackled going out of bounds and the defender knocks them backward, the clock keeps going.
Right.
But if they're going forward, it's possession stop. And I know it's to benefit the offense, but end of the day, the Falcons had to take their last timeout.
And this punt will take a Browns roll inside the 20-yard line. 57 yards on the punt and roll. So now Matt Ryan of the Falcons down by 12 with just under 4 minutes remaining.
And you know, all day today, Kenny, got 3:50 left in this football game. The one thing this Falcons team has not been able to do is throw the ball down the football field. Only one completion of 20 plus yards, and that was, I think that was after a catch. That was a run and catch type of situation. So this Browns defense done a good job. I mentioned earlier, they're playing a lot of 2 high safeties, and usually you see that it's to keep everything in front of you. And I think with this lead, they're able to afford themselves the opportunity to do that and just come up and make tackles and see if they can win the game that way.
Ryan on first down. Slides out to the 28-yard line, and So he wears that knee brace, and in the first 2 games this season, he had some issues with it.
Yeah, he's going to have
looks like the same thing happens here.
He's going to have to start sliding on his butt, man. He can't put that knee on the ground.
2nd down and 2. Out to the 32-yard line. It's a first down, Tevin Coleman. And Ryan actually broke that knee brace in back-to-back games to start the season against Philadelphia and Carolina. Right on first down, it's Hooper. That's his 10th catch today.
And there you go. There's another example of it there. Denzel Ward knocking Austin Hooper back towards the offensive side of the ball, so this clock continues to roll.
2nd down and 5. Catch is made by Justin Hardy. Remember, the Falcons are out of timeouts.
That was when Hardy got that pass and gave the ball right back to Alex Mack. Set this thing. Let's go.
Ryan fires, and it's caught at the 39-yard line of the Browns by Eric Sobert.
And again, the Browns are just going to be content to slow play this and let them make these type of completions.
Sobert became the 10th different Falcon with a reception today. 9 Browns have caught the football, so 19 different players on the receiving end from Matt Ryan and Baker Mayfield. Falcons at 4-4 on day in the NFC South. How about the New Orleans Saints? They scored 45 against the Rams last week. They have 51 points in Cincinnati today.
They lost that opening week, and there's been no stopping Drew Brees since.
51-14 lead over the Bengals across the state of Ohio. Ito Smith the catch, and a nice tackle by Bonnie Calhoun. We approach the 2-minute warning. Will the Falcons get the snap away? They will not. Down by 12. 2 minutes on the clock at the 35-yard line of the Browns. Back in Cleveland, Kenny Albert, Rondé Barber, Sarah Walsh. Browns lead by 12. 3rd down and 6 for the Falcons. Matt Ryan has tied his career high, Rondé. 37 completions today for Ryan.
And it's been mostly in the second half here, too. Kenny only had 172 yards, 117 yards at the half.
Now at 327. And there's completion number 38 to Julio Jones, but not enough for a first down. TJ Carey made the tackle.
Well, all Cleveland has to do is not allow a quick score. Obviously, if they finish on 4th down here, they win the game. So the focus here, quick passes, look to the bottom of your screen. This matchup, Calvin Ridley versus Denzel Ward.
4th down and 3. Falcons must get to the 29 for a first down. Ryan can't find anyone. He's sacked. The ball comes loose. It's still rolling around, and it's recovered by Jamie Collins, and that will put an exclamation point on this Cleveland Browns victory.
Well, you don't see Matt Ryan hold the football this long, but the coverage on this side of the field was excellent. Calvin Ridley, Austin Hooper, the kind of the guys he's been going to, coverage is perfect. Denzel Ward takes the tight end. You got a safety and a linebacker on Julio or on Calvin Ridley, and there's just nowhere to go with the football. And of course, it's appropriate that this defense that has been after Matt Ryan all day long finishes with a sack fumble. And the credit is going to go to Baker Mayfield in this offense, but its due is on the other side of the football. This Falcons offense came into this game on fire, and they got doused by this Greg Williams-led defense.
Baker Mayfield's numbers, 3 touchdowns. Nick Chubb, a 92-yard touchdown run. Frustration on the other side.
Well, that says it all. I mean, this team needed to win this football game. You just mentioned the New Orleans Saints and how they're running in this division, and they come on the road in a game that they should have won. If you're asking that question, they should have won. But they got the buzzsaw of Baker Mayfield in this defense, and they're going to lose. But this is a heck of a moment for Baker Mayfield and this offense. What a day.
The Cleveland Browns will end a 4-game losing streak. They are off next week. They'll face the Bengals in Cincinnati in their next game 2 weeks from today. State Farm postgame is coming up thanks to our crew. Producer Barry Landis, Director Jeremy Green, Associate Director Joe Williams, Broadcast Associate Jonathan Biles, our technical producer Ron McGuggins, Technical Director Damon McGavick, our statisticians Dave Corris and Rick Camps, our spotter Ben Bulmer. For Greg Williams, his first win as a head coach since December 7th, 2003. Drew Bledsoe was a starting quarterback in that game with the Buffalo Bills against the New York Jets.
Well, this is a game they can build on, especially Freddie Kitchen, what he did on offense with his young quarterback. And man, very good job by Cleveland.
Their third win, Falcons drop to 4-5, will return to Cleveland after these messages.